Good evening, everybody. Welcome again. Sorry, coming out the gates sloppy. Welcome everybody to the GT3 Endurance 90-minute round 4 at Zolder for the 2022 Winter Championship. We are just coming to the end of free practice, and we're going to be having all drivers go out for qualifying. Not at the same time though. So we have a mixed quali session to start this out. We're going to see the cars with the red background are indicated as Division 3. They will be going out first. So we'll try to see whoever is going to be at the helm there. I think we got one of the... Ooh, look at that. We got CC Racing currently leading the overall team championship. And that's CC Racing in Division 3, all three drivers. So congratulations to them so far. It's only a quarter away through this championship. So we got Matthew Haight, Gabe Carnes, and A. Delbecky of CC Racing currently going out. But I think there's a driver actually ahead of them, car number 111. That is John Rohr of Absolute Sim Racing. So once they got 5 minutes to set a hot lap in, get that quali going, and then from there we're going to get the silver background drivers into qualifying as they will exit the pits at the 10-minute marker, and then we'll go down to the white background Division 1 drivers, the fast boys as they are, will all be exiting the pits as well at the 5-minute mark. The interesting thing here though, folks, is that already with 28 drivers in the field, it's going to be a very congested race, but we have at least 9 drivers that are all competing for just a few tenths, as Danny Baisden of Area 52 Sim Racing was able to pull off a 129.002, I think it was, basically to the line of 129, but a driver next to him, behind him, was, I believe, Ali Raza with a 129.04. So just a couple hundreds off. And then that increments just ever so slightly to another driver getting into that same round before one full tenth. And then we jump a little bit to the twos of the 129.2s and the 129.3s. But there's going to be a lot of fast people going to be showing up to race for qualifying at that 5-minute mark, as we are halfway through the Division 3's qualifying right now. And we'll just go on a cockpit cam and see how John Rohr is taking some of these corners. And we could expect that the Division 3 may not be pulling in 129s, but even so, I believe each one of those drivers is still going to be able to pull off a qualifying lap or two. And car number... Oh, Matthew Hay has entered the pits. That's unfortunate. So with a minute and 45 and he's crossing the line, he's going to be able to take another stab at this. And I'm even wondering, with some of these drivers being as fast as they are, they might actually be able to get 3 laps in with some of the Division 2 drivers or the Division 1 drivers coming into the pit lane or starting their last lap. So we got John Rohr with a 132. We have Alex Okoro of Bytown 360. I really think there's a different name for that team, but I don't think any of them put it in a something 360. Oh, look at that. We have George Elmer of Simnut Racing. Just pulled off a 131 with a Okoro with a 131.2. And we have Gabe Carnes. And they still have enough time to go again, so some of them are actually going to do that. With a 131.8, and then we have The Train. I think that's Edward T-Train with a 131.9. Roar, and then we have Andy Oak with a 132.7. Santiago Orozco of Tacos Locos Now, I don't believe his teammate is here, so he's going to be one taco down. One taco driver down for this race. That's unfortunate. Matthew Haight, who has maybe had a little bit of an accident, and he's been sitting in the pit lane. And we have Delbecky here of CC Racing, able to go back out for one more lap, as we're going to be seeing a lot of these drivers exit the pits right now. Car number 9, I don't know if he made it, but let's see what he's planning on doing. Gabe Carnes might have crossed the line just in time to start going for that lap, and it looks like he actually is going to continue to go for it. So we have car number 33, car number 42, car number 44, and I think that's a 333 something. Yeah, Reed Aldred of Tracklicious Winter 2022 team. That's not a team name. That's just the owner. So car number 9 is the last driver that will be partaking in the Division 3's hot lap there. He's got one driver ahead of him of Delbecky. And car number 33 of Andrew Pickerel, who is leading the drivers. Oh, that was a little slow. He's about 2/10 positive on his delta, so we're not really seeing anything play out for him as far as the shakeup between the Division 3 drivers. But what really counts is Delbecky just put himself right next to Gabe Carnes as they end their runs. We'll switch over to Andrew Pickerel here and go on board. And that's a shakeup, folks. It looks like Roscoe finished P8, but will be dropping down the board as the Division 2 drivers start making their lap times. So we'll see Matthew Haight separated by his teammates by a couple rows, but maybe he'll be able to get back in there after turn 1. And on that second hot lap that they were able to get, Coral stayed top with a 130.7, and John Rohr actually went faster with a 130.9. Elmer stayed at 131.1. And I'm joined by my esteemed compatriot here, Constable Cody Wassum. Wassum?
Esteemed? I don't know about that, but thank you.
Well, congrats for making it here. I'm glad I have somebody to talk to while this shakes up.
Yeah, I thought you could use a little company in here. I don't want you to get lonely.
Well, it is going to be an endurance race, in a full 90 minutes, so lots to happen.
If anything, I can keep you awake.
Absolutely.
Still, you do your interviews.
So we had Pickerel come across the line with a 130.7, and he's already invalidated his lap, so he's going to have to come across the line again and hopefully get there fast enough to do so to actually establish a second lap going forward. That's unfortunate for Andrew Pickerel. And Chronotis goes fastest with a 130.1. And Wassum, speaking from experience here, do you want to give the viewers a little rundown of how you would take some of these corners that we are going to pop on board and see Chronotis take?
Who are you following right now? And I'll follow him as well.
This is Chronotis.
Let me see.
He's about 6/10 faster on the second lap here.
Yeah, so he's coming in the hairpin right now. This one you usually break about the 100-meter board. If you're feeling a little bit aggressive, you can go slightly past that 100-meter, but important to get an exit down through there because If you kind of have an awkward run through the hairpin, you do give a guy a chance down into this final chicane. He's taken that well.
Well, and unfortunately,
He's
it looks like Andrew Pickerel decided to go into the pit lane to practice his pit
yeah,
entry.
not a bad idea. I mean, it's an endurance race, so the guys are going to have to pit for fuel and maybe tires. And pit entries is something we've often seen overlooked, and
Yeah,
it can cost you a race win. You get a drive through speeding in the pits.
mm-hmm.
Chronos slides it through there. I think he's just invalidated himself, but
Yes, he did.
um, I like I like the approach there. He already put a solid banker lap in. He was already on pole, so why not go out there and go all out and see how quick you can go? Yeah, he's invalidated, so I think he's probably going to do what we were just talking about. He's going to bring it all the way around and do a pit entry. We still have Reggie King running. He's kind of flirting with his relative.
Yeah, he's
Looks like
getting.
he gained looks like he gained about a tenth or two through the hairpin. So
Yeah, and we're looking
hopefully
at
he can
Danny
pick here.
Bazin here, who's leading the charge for the Division One
Yeah,
drivers. As it looks like it probably wasn't going to mean much for Pickerel anyway, as he's sitting at P5 and he's in the middle of
yeah.
the Division Two drivers. So good out for him. But we got Chronotis with a 129.5. Very impressive considering that the fastest
Solid
times
lap.
some of these drivers were doing the low 129s. Danny Bazin never got under a 129.02, I believe. But I think the only driver unable to set a time was Reed Aldred, who's going to be having to fight through a number of Division Two drivers. As you can see him in P15 right now, he's going to have to jump ahead of those just to even get close to Spool, who's in his next competition. And it's hard to make any predictions right now, as they're even though they're on their hot laps, right? Wassum, that it just it's going against their out lap, so all these deltas are showing differences that can't really judge
Yeah,
just yet until we get to this lap as Danny Bazin rounds the corner. Any predictions on the top three shakeup, as we have Danny Bazin going with a 128.9, fastest overall. David Funk goes fourth fastest, fifth fastest. Now he's dropping down the leaderboard there. Riley Manier crosses the line in
Riley throws a
P2.
29.3.
And Ricardo Rivera with a 29.4. Padberg with a
So
29.4. And Ali Raza with the 129.6. Chris McKeesey of with the 129.7. And that was the name. 360 Motorsports. Ed Kerstetter did a 130.2. So it looks like Chronotis is sitting in the middle of the Division One stack. It's going to be tough for him to maintain right there. Only driver not able to put a time in was Will Campbell and Gage Gonzalez. And no, Mike Burkhoff put in a 132. Wassum, between Gage Gonzalez and Will Campbell, who do you think is going to shake up that top spot?
Hard to say. I think an important factor in this race is going to be. I mean, this is a shorter track, tight, twisty, narrow track, really old school track. I think it's going to be
Ooh,
situation of keeping your head on a swivel and just trying to make it through the opening couple laps, especially this endurance format we're running.
absolutely. I mean, we have David Funk, who's for the first time, I
With,
believe, in a while, is actually almost bested his teammates, or at least bested at Cursiter. He's gone third fastest. Ali Raza splits the two Area 52s with a P2 on a 129.1. Gage Gonzalez shakes up the board, as I thought he was going to do. He's sitting at P4 with a 129.2. And everybody right now is pretty high on their deltas.
looks like Danny Basin, of course, in a league of his own right now. I think.
Yeah, with the 129, with 128.3.
We've
Yeah.
got Egg Crusader sitting down in P8 right now, but I think he may have been compromised or just made a mistake on his first lap.
Let's take a
I
look and
wouldn't
see
be
where he's at.
surprised if he comes around and
He's only 2/10 faster right now, which is only going to split him to P6. He's got to actually get another couple tenths here. He's actually got 3/10 now, and he's maintaining it as he's exiting. So he crosses the line. He goes fourth fastest with a 129.1. But you can totally see on the overall right now, we have Danny Bazin with a 128.3, followed by P2 through P10. They're all within that 129 margin, and they're in that same margin of half a second.
mm-hmm.
And no one even broke into that between P12 with Jarek Snyder with a 130.2. So he didn't even get into the 129s or the high 129s. We literally have all drivers within a half second of each other. And Padberg pulls off an impressive 128.9. Wow, what an interesting dynamic right there. As we go into this race, it is completely dark on track. Whoa.
Be interesting. I'm not envious of these guys. I think they've got their work cut out for them these opening few laps. And again, as with I think every track on ACC, I don't think any of these tracks, maybe somebody watching us right now can correct me. I can't think of a track that has night lighting. So when you're driving around all these, it's all headlights. And
Yeah, I
that
mean,
can get pretty tricky spotting braking points,
yeah,
apexes, where the edge of the road is, etc. But yeah, I think all the guys we got here are more than capable of that.
we got car number
I'd say there's
82 and 42. Oh, these are two teammates, Chrono and Snyder. Oh, and those two are teammates. The 360 Motorsports got a lot of teammates stacking up together. There's the Turner together. And don't really look and see. Looks like there's a couple of CC Racings and Royal Racing right behind them. Take a look at the Royal Racing livery there. I forgot to add this one last time that they're in. And I think that's going to kind of wind down the track. We have both the Puerto Rican e-racing team members that are together, as well as the Area 52, all three drivers at the top. Sorry, Wasi, what you were saying?
I'd say well, some of the guys during practice and stuff, they would been able to see in the session information when the race was going to start. But even though it's going to, many of them that were paying attention knew it was going to be at night. I'd say they don't really know an exact track temp, ambient temperature, so there's probably a lot of scrambling going going on in the garages right now about track temperatures and things like that, trying to get tire pressures right. But
Yeah, I mean, well, it's 3 a.m. right
one,
now, right? So it's only going to
yeah,
progress by an hour unless they've added a time multiplier to that. That'd be an early morning, still 15 degrees on track.
yeah, I'm not. Yeah, the one positive thing though is if there's anybody concerned about their tires lasting. Um, got a cooler track now, so
Oh,
should be a little easier on the tires. But we'll have to see. I didn't get a chance to talk to any of these guys about what the pit strategy was going to be. But Zolder is pretty tough on tires, especially the front tires. Got a lot of heavy braking zones, sweeping corners, and low speed corners that also wear the front tires pretty bad. And a lot of acceleration zones as well with all these chicanes, so I have to keep an eye on fronts and rears.
okay. So you can keep talking, Wassum. I just need a second here.
I'm just I'm watching from her spectator cam. I'm trying to decide who I want to follow this first lap.
Okay, well, um, what we'll do is just watch the main drivers
Yeah,
at the
I'm
front.
just kind of.
That is some oversight. Well, um, I think this is going to be one of those ones that people are going to be watching on YouTube, boss. I was having some technical difficulties trying to launch the stream itself, and so I had to relog in, and I inevitably the stream key wasn't working, but it would still let me go live. I
Right.
guess I never checked, but we are not technically streaming through Tracklicious' stream right now.
Interesting. Well, we're going through the final chicane now. Danny Basin's forming the grid up. They're all getting stacked up into their box. We'll be kicking off soon.
If you could actually just, okay, actually no.
A green light here. Padberg tucks in behind immediately.
And there's
Want to
already
protect him.
contact with Ali Raza. And car number 364 of Will Campbell is completely off the track right there.
Yeah, I think.
It looks like he had a little bit of contact with car number 24 of Chris McKeesy, his
Chris.
teammate. Oh, that is unfortunate.
They're bunching up for this second chicane. This is an area of the track. First lap, we could see an incident or two. looks, correct me if I'm wrong, Jason, it looks fairly clean right now. I'm watching the track map. I don't see anybody off or looks like anybody spun. As I say that, did I just commentator curse somebody?
I don't believe
That's
so. It looks pretty
Christian
fair right now.
McKenzie, pretty mild. I think he just outbraked himself in the final hairpin, ran wide, as we've got Gonzalez and Riley going at it, battling for the final few top 10 positions.
Okay, so those finally joining
we do have
us.
a driver off, it looks like.
Car number 3 of Santiago Orozco. Unfortunate for him. We'll drop down into the split and let everyone catch up here. So those who are sitting at Tracklicious waiting for this stream to start, unfortunately, there's a little bit of issue with the stream starting. So here we are. We have Danny Basin at P1 at the start. Padberg is P2. We have Ollie Raza right behind him with P3.
Oh, we got a car off. David Funk from Area 52 goes off.
Oh, that is unfortunate. He drops down the
tracks.
tracks.
They were running pretty close there. I was watching that. I don't know if he got help or if he kind of just lost it on the curves, but I think he's recovered. Didn't have contact with the wall or anything.
And at Kersetter's P4, we have Ricardo Rivera in P5, Riley Muneer sitting in P6, Gonzalez in P7. Going down the line, it's Chris McKessie still in P8, having had some contact with his teammate, Will Campbell, who's dropped down to P25 because of it. We have Cornotis sitting at P9. Jet Engelman is fighting him for P1 of the Division 2 title right there. He's just 3/10 off of him. A Coral and P11. That's pretty impressive for a Division 3 driver there. Jarek Snyder, P12. And then down the line, you're going to be able to see a little bit of that. But what's really the fight to be had here is Gage Gonzalez sitting in P7 is battling it out with Riley Muneer here, as they are side by side going into this next sector. Oh, and that is just an impressive overtake by Gage Gonzalez, taking that outline. Oh, and
got another car off, it looks like.
Train has gone off the track. A Coral side by side with Jet Engelman allows Jet to pass by for P10. And it is 360 Motorsports with this driver as part of a team. Now, Wass, you were saying the whole idea here is to just try to survive. This being a night race, there's even more struggle to find your braking points. But also, we have a mandatory pit stop, which you can see the number 1 next to that mandatory is what means the mandatory pit stop's been still there. When it goes green, it's going to take that away.
Yeah, I think even with 45-minute races, races under an hour, but especially this one.
Oh, whoa! And Jet Engelman just takes P9 with Cornotis just eating that curb and getting sent all out of sorts there, as a Coral is going to be able to battle out against him.
But yeah, I think this 90-minute race, I think the good mindset to have is just make it through these opening couple laps. Battle where you need to battle, but what a lot of these guys are wanting to do is probably just get settled into a position where they can just run laps, keep up the pace, and kind of calm down, gather themselves for a little bit, and then start planning out pit strategy and who they think they're racing, who they don't think they're racing, etc. But
I think right now Ed Kersetter thinks he's about to pass Padberg, who just lost P2 to Ollie Raza and was about to lose it to Ed Kersetter as they go too wide through that corner, and they are still neck and neck. Oh, that
Yeah, this is
I
a good fight
was.
here.
Yeah, this is an extremely good fight. We're really seeing a couple drivers here. Let's just go on board here. Let's see Padberg defend very well.
And Vanny Bazin out completely by himself.
Yeah, with that 5-second gap.
Probably, I mean, he's just on a road trip right now. He's having some beef jerky, probably got a big gulp
He's
in the
definitely
cup
putting in
holder.
some solid laps. So he hasn't
Relax.
validated his lap, though, at some point through one of these corners. And we can clearly see from Padberg's back end there that we are motor racing right now.
Yeah, people are starting to spread out, but we've got little packs forming of 2 cars or more that are running together. And as the field's spread out, we're starting to see races forming. This is what I was talking about. Guys will start getting an idea of who they're battling.
Yeah, and that spread is a good and bad thing for some drivers, but a good thing for Will Campbell is because there's a little bit more wiggle room. He was able to bypass a couple drivers. He went from P25 to now P19, and he has Andrew Pickrell here as he goes for that inside line. He's able to secure. Oh no, he's not. Let's pull back on this driver. Doesn't look like he's able to secure that pass over Andrew Pickrell, who's sitting in P18.
It looks like for now Ed's backed off of Padberg slightly. Probably just want to gather himself.
I think it's being more about
Help his tires out.
save the tires, definitely, especially like Jason Provolone overtaking Mike Burkhoff for P15 just before that chicane. And Wassum, I was able to share my screen so you can take a look at both of what's going on. You can pay attention to multiple things.
Yeah.
Right. And here we have Will Campbell trying to go for it through that corner. He's side by side with Andrew Pickrell there. But Pickrell's got the inside line. Oh no, he's just been overtaken by Will Campbell. And what is this? Is this the strategy that's going to pay off, Wassum? We have Andrew Pickrell of Adidas Parlay having gone into the pit lane already.
I mean, it's not a bad idea. If he's kind of in a fight or around a driver he's not really comfortable with, it's not a bad idea to, pull yourself out of the fight and find your own space to just run laps in.
He is going down the order, though, entirely. He has not done a quick pit.
No, he hasn't. I wonder if he has damage, or I would think if he was, I don't know if he would have been able to burn enough fuel already.
Absolutely not.
He's only ran for 11 minutes. I mean, that still not moving. I wonder if we've got...
I think we got some technical difficulties there, so we're going to pull away from him and hope that his race is going to continue. One thing to note is we have Ricardo Rivera and Gage Gonzalez of the Puerto Rico E-Racing Club. They're sitting side by side with Gage Gonzalez taking the fastest lap of the race so far with a 128.9. And there's nothing better than seeing your teammate right beside you as you're pushing through the pack and you're already sitting in the top 10. Are we... Where is... Andrew Pickrell has just entered the race again. He's sitting in last place, and I think he's actually a lap down from a lot of these drivers. Oh, that is unfortunate. I don't know if we can be able to even speculate on what was going on there, Wassum.
Yeah, it must have been some issue. Yeah, it's tough for poor old Pickerel, but
Yikes.
so it looks like Gonzalez and Rivera here, teammates. They're probably
Just trying to keep
really
pace.
happy. Yeah, they're probably really happy with this situation. I mean, it doesn't look like Rivera's being held up at all, and
Well,
you know, if that situation came up, I'm sure they would have no problem swapping with each other. But yeah, it's nice to run with your teammates like that because you know it's somebody that's not gonna try to dive you going into a corner or anything, you know, and you're in a
oh,
voice chat with the guy, you can communicate.
yeah, absolutely. That's one of the benefits of having your teammate be your racing
Mm-hmm.
partner there, as Ricardo Rivera looks to have overtaken Gage
Looks like
Gonzalez.
they're, yeah, so
That's
that's what I was talking about. Looks like they're swapping there, which is fine.
And he was technically faster. Ricardo Rivera is actually a full 6/10 faster than his teammate, Gage Gonzalez there. But I think the real buffer here is that Chris McKeezy is about 1.8 seconds away, and Riley Manier is 5 from Chris McKeezy, so 7 overall to getting to even close to the Puerto Rico guys. He's kind of in his own la-la land, as I'm assured. He actually had an
Yeah,
incident with car number 39, who's of David Funk, actually. Oh, so when you're talking about David Funk,
yeah, I wonder, and Riley takes a big chunk of curb there.
that might have
Yeah,
been that might have done it for them, both of
yeah, he
them.
may have gotten a little help there, but yeah, I'm not sure if Riley, a few of the laps there, he was kind of battling with Gonzalez and Rivera and McKenzie, that whole pack. I don't know. Looked like he was struggling going into the braking zones and getting the car turned in. So I don't know if he has trouble with his tire pressures, or now that we know there's a collision at some point, he may have a little bit of damage. But um, man, that's tough because from what I saw that incident with David Funk, it doesn't look like anything spectacular amount of contact, you know. But
Mm-hmm.
anyway, it seems like whatever the issue, Riley's struggling right now. But
Well, as we look,
early stages, he's still probably got about 90 liters of fuel or more on
yeah.
the car. So
And one of the impressive things that happened is Chrono was technically out ahead of Jet Engelman at the start of this race, but Jet has actually pulled ahead, and his gap is giving himself a nice, comfortable second gap to Chronotis for the Division 2 championship right there. That's P1 for Jet Engelman right now, who's sitting in P9 in the overall, and a Coral, who is of 360 Motorsports. His teammates Chris McKeezy and Will Campbell. Will Campbell's still making his way to the pack. He's P17. His teammate P11, so not too far off from his teammate, which is pretty great. And Kersetter's right back at it, having spent some time away from Padberg, now building some strength. Now, Wassum, if you were Kerstetter, and in the mind of Kerstetter, where would you put yourself into a situation to overtake? On the straightaway as we're coming through this exit here, down the start straight finish, or would you try to go for something before the one of the chicanes?
It's tough, I think, as he runs off there. So
Yeah.
it's tough here. There are a few spots where you can make an overtake happen, as we've got a few medium, long straights leading into some hard braking zones that you can make one happen. But even then, some of these slow corners, especially the chicanes, it's really tight. There's really only one line through it. But I've always found, if we watch right here, if you can kind of set a guy up, and if he makes a little bit of a mistake through this chicane, we're watching him go through right now, and you can follow him through these two right-handers. This second one here is really crucial. If you can get a good run through there, you can get a little bit of a slipstream and follow him up over the hill down into this hairpin. That's probably, for me at least, the most ideal place to pass somebody, because yeah, it's a hairpin, pretty wide part of the track. I'd say that's the main overtaking point here, which probably what Ed's going to be thinking, but at the same time, Padberg's going to know that as well. So he'll be watching and waiting to see if that's probably the spot he'll be expecting Ed to go for a move. So I'm sure Ed's thinking of other places he might be able to surprise him and make a move.
That's exactly what the viewers need to hear, Was. Some really, really strong.
I've been passed a lot there. That's how I know.
And it looks like he's sticking his nose out, thinking he's gonna have to go.
Yes,
Look at that! Chris McKeezy has overtaken Gage Gonzalez, one of Ricardo Rivera, who was actually this. Not to even sound defamatory, but the slower of the drivers was Gonzalez, who overtook Ricardo again, and now he's sitting behind Chris McKeezy. A little bit of battling that we missed there. And yeah, that's quite something. You see it in the background, it's just ever so slightly. Let me try to see if we get an onboard on that one. It looks like his teammate broke away a little bit. Yeah, they're further back. Goes for the side-by-side.
Oh, Ed hasn't run, and he lifts out of it.
That's a little
interesting.
Yeah. I wonder what his issue there is. We have Ricardo Rivera going to the outside line. Two heated battles happening in the top 10 here, as the other drivers throughout the field have kind of given themselves a little bit of space. Actually, a lot of space.
And right now it looks like Danny Bazin, our leader, about 6.5 second gap. He's starting to come up on some traffic. Don't think he'll have a problem with that. He's not in a rush right now, so he can be patient, find his way through here. But if he's catching traffic now, that means these few guys here we're watching battle, they'll also be catching traffic here in about 3 laps or so. So
and it looks like Ed Kerstetter, while just giving himself some room with Padberg, now has Gage Gonzalez on his back end. Ooh, as we have a yellow flag on.
And they're not exactly falling away from Ali Raza, so yeah, it looks like we've possibly got a 4-way battle forming here, as we're catching some traffic. There's somebody off
That
in the
was
background.
Santiago Orozco. And do we know confirm that? Oh, look at him try to stick his nose out again.
Yeah, see, this is a point here where Padberg's really got to be focused because Ed's obviously trying to distract him, and like I said, through this corner, doesn't look like he's flashing lights or anything yet, but yeah, he's just sticking his nose out there to see if he can catch Padberg watching his mirrors or not.
And one thing we know for certain is Padberg sitting on a single screen, so he's his makeshift rig is definitely not one to leave a lot going on. And in the background, further down the
just
track.
Not get run at him here. I think.
Oh, there he goes. Oh, and that's a little bit of contact.
Up in there, a little bit of bump, no harm done, and we'll see if this gives Gonzalez a chance on Padberg.
Oh, as Gonzalez has gone wide.
Runs wide. Ed is through though. We'll see if he can start hunting down Alvarez now. Yeah, good news there. I'm not really sure. He just
it wasn't contact that showed on the incidents report so far, so I think we're all good.
I think he just caught Padberg off guard there. Caught him by surprise.
And as I say that, we have Will Campbell going side by side with his teammate. Not his teammate. That is Jarek Snyder for P13. What a run for Will Campbell. He started towards the top of the grid. I forget exactly where, but tumbling down the order entirely. This is what you get from an endurance race, is you get the time and effort. If he just put himself in the right position, he's now sitting in P13. And when you mention that lap traffic, it looks like there's some lap traffic building for Chris McKeezy and Ricardo, because he's now 2/10 off of him.
And this is where it's stressful for all drivers in this situation, because an example you saw there, I'm not sure who the drivers are, but we've got two guys battling on the lead lap, and they're coming up to lap two other guys that are battling. So, I mean, I think if you're those lapped cars, you obviously want to let them through because you don't want a faster guy right on your tail.
Yeah, and that,
adding stress to your race, but at the same time, you don't want to let them through in such a way that the guy you're battling for position can sneak through as we go.
Oh,
that's really close.
The closest I've ever seen it before. Just
so we got Rivera going for a little bit of a lunge, all fair. Kesey sees him coming. Oh,
is that an off track?
Kind of.
Yeah, he went. That's an invalid lap right there, but try to gain a little bit of advantage there, and I don't know if they would allow that.
He's just giving the grass a little trim there. It's okay.
As his teammate Gage Gonzalez in P5 is sitting comfortably next to Padberg, about now a 10th off of him. Oh, he goes wide again. Oh, that was his teammate that went wide, but it seems to be a running trend for the Puerto Rico e-racing club.
Well, and he's got his team name here. Max, please don't curse me. Is that about the commentator's curse?
Yeah, that is about the commentator's curse.
Well, you're not the only one here now. So,
well,
you've got he's got another
He's
commentator
got
to
some
blame
good
it on, I
juju,
guess.
though. He's got some good juju. What he put that in for the last race and was able to secure a P1 finish at Brands Hatch, which is quite a feat
Oh,
in its own. And I believe that was an endurance race as well. And
so, trying to look at some
let me take a look at
gaps here if we can get them updated. I kind of want to see how far
Will Camp.
Jed Engelman is behind Riley Manier.
14 seconds.
Okay. So
It's a big gap.
It looks like Chronotis has kind of clawed his way back there. He's just 2.6 behind.
Now he's 3 seconds behind Jet now. We have David Funk that's on his back end fighting for P10. And it looks like he has the potential to go faster. As his last lap was a 129.8 and Chronotis was 130.7. So there's a clear big difference in terms of pace going on with these two drivers. I don't know if I like that one. And he doesn't go for it, and he also just loses a little bit of time there. That's unfortunate for David Funk. Well, now look at this. Awesome. It looks like, well, he did serve his mandatory pit stop. Andrew Pickerel also was able to take himself out of the last place. He's now sitting no lap down. He's about almost a full lap down from the race lead. And he's got 17 seconds to Jason Provolone, who's also must have had a... No, it looks like Provolone has not had an issue. He's just behind by 18 seconds.
I think they're both a couple laps down. They're at least 2 laps down.
Oh yeah, you're right, because Santiago
Yeah,
Roscoe's...
I wonder what's happened there. I saw Andrew Pickerel's, as we saw, was spending a while in the pits as Jarek Snyder comes in.
Yeah, and we have Jason Provolone who served his time. You know, that might be the reason right there, Wassum, is that now we have drivers in P24 and 25 that have served their mandatory pit stop. So maybe it's going to be playing into their overall strategy. Now, in terms of strategy for Pickerel, he was already in the top, I think, 15 at the start of the race. So to go to P25, it actually might still pan out for him to get back up there. If he indeed doesn't pit again, because how much fuel does he have?
See, that's the thing. Not sure exactly how much fuel the McLaren holds, but I know most cars it's
120, I believe.
110 and 120.
Maybe,
man, I don't know. He pitted pretty early on.
Maybe he didn't have enough fuel to start with. Do you think there's a possibility?
That's possible. I mean, he could have accidentally started with his qualifying fuel, but man, I don't know. He's still stayed in there quite a while.
Well, that would be the case, right? If he didn't have the fuel and then he decided to just go full fuel and take it all, that's, you know, if he had to go 120 liters.
May have accidentally left his tire change on as well, as we see.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. Gage Gonzalez going.
Move happening here.
This is for P4.
This is the hairpin I told you about earlier. We'll see. Hadberg leaves the door open. No.
Oh, he goes off track.
Oh, that's the chicane.
Oh, that is unfortunate for Padberg, but Rivera is able to... Oh, no, Rivera is not able to capitalize on it, though.
He is, yeah. He got through there, so did...
No.
No, so he kept that position. Interesting.
A little bit of a lag
Yeah,
spike
that's
there.
no doubt. Yeah, that's it's interesting.
Well, that just puts Padburger
What
between two Puerto Rican e-racing club drivers
and
here. What I mean,
we can see McKenzie. Is it McKenzie or McKeezy?
McKeezy. Chris
McKeezy.
he's 2 seconds off.
Sorry, Christian. Yeah, as you can see on the front straight, I was going to say you can see McKeezy and Riley Manier kind of lurking in the background. So
It looks like Riley was
I
able to pull
know
some
Riley.
pace
I've
there.
raced with Riley a lot. I've been in voice chats with Riley a lot while he's racing. He's very observant. He's keeping tabs on everything that's going on. So he'll have been watching in front of him and on his relative and know these guys are battling. So yeah, he'll be aware of that and be wanting to close this gap up.
Yeah, he was
And
5 seconds
I
off of
think,
Chris McKee. No, actually, no, he was 7 seconds off of Ricardo Rivera.
oh man, as Padberg, I think that was a back marker, got a little bit out of shape in front of Padberg and was escorted off the track. I don't know who that was.
Car 85.
That's Jarek Snyder. Yep.
It's showing no incident with Jarek Snyder, though.
It was a light-colored BMW, I think.
There's, unfortunately, if Jarek Snyder was gone off
I
track,
mean,
it's
there
he
could
didn't
have
touch
been no
anybody.
contact.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, he could have just dropped it all by himself. Yeah, we've got, I think, all these guys running close up at the top, and we've got several guys in the midfield. Mike Burkhoff, Reggie King, Reed Aldred. They're all kind of running within 8 to 10 seconds of each other. So
It's not enough, though. Like,
I
our only
think
close gap is Padberg there, right?
yeah, I think we got a lot of guys here that are really going to start thinking about when they want to pit. And
We got 56 minutes left on the clock, so I'm be curious to see
yeah,
who's going to
it's
actually be the one.
just interesting because these 90-minute races, it usually comes out to needing about 150 liters of fuel. So, which you obviously can't put that much in a car. So, kind of depends on the driver, I guess. Some
Oh.
guys may just want to split it evenly. Some
Oh!
guys
And there goes Chris
go
McKeezy. He
closer.
opens the door for Riley Manier. Now they're side by side going into the next
Looks like
corner.
he's
Oh, no! That
trying to
is...
hold it, and he runs off with the back marker.
Yikes, that is one of the CC Racing drivers that is just
I think McKeezy just
kind of pushed with him.
braked a little too late. Maybe got on some marbles there and just ran out of grip and then ran out of road.
Oh, but I think he's going to be doing the smart thing here.
To pit,
Yeah. Still. Oh, look at that. At the same time that was shaping down, we have Padberg here. Jakob Padberg.
He's lost that out to McKeezy.
Yeah, he definitely lost that out.
Excuse me.
So now we have the Gage Gonzalez and Ricardo Rivera sitting in P4 and 5 for their team, and that's got to be kind of nice because we'll definitely see the pace of Ricardo improve as he is slightly faster in the last lap to Rivera, and he even has a faster best lap coming out of it.
Man, this flag here from Rivera is making me a little nervous. Probably making Padberg nervous as well.
Yeah, you hope he's able to stay on because look at that red bar. That's a full issue. And look at that. Oh, no. Car number 42. Who's car number 42? Chronotis is off the side.
Oh, he looks like he has some...
He actually made contact with a back marker of Matthew Haight. Oh, he has some really... Let's take a look at his inputs
let's
here.
go in the cockpit. Yeah, his steering wheel's cocked.
It's smooth enough.
See what he's like on the straight. Yeah. He's fine on the straight. He's
looked like he was sort of fighting it.
It's a little bit crooked. Looks like he's really fighting it a lot on corner exit.
I think he's gotten it back though. It was just
I wonder what happened there.
and there's Mike Burkhoff right on the back end to take P12 from him. But and we have Ed Kerstetter somehow was able to make it catch up to Ali Raza. Somehow. Just on sheer pace alone, Ali Raza is definitely going to have to start defending.
They've also coming up on a back marker here too, so
yeah.
Yeah, but as I was saying earlier, I mean, these races usually need about 150, 160 liters. And if you're in a car that can only hold 120 liters, you're obviously going to have to take fuel. And some guys, you know, if you're going to have to use 160 liters roughly, some guys will just split that down the middle. They'll start with 80 liters, run that, and then get down to about 10 liters and then fuel up with 80 again. Some guys will kind of take start with 100 liters, put 60 on at the pit stop. And me personally, I always wanted to start with just a full tank, and I wouldn't always run it out. I wouldn't always run until the last few liters, but I did like having that full tank of fuel because it gives you a little bit of
gives you a little breather, yeah.
Gives you a little breathing room in case, because a big problem could be rain if you have to stop for wet tires.
364. Oh no, Will Campbell is in the wall. As he has an incident with car number 24. Of Chris McKeezy, his teammate again.
McKeezy looks like McKeezy's 2 laps down. Wow.
And his
Are these guys really losing 2 laps in the pit stop? No way, right?
Well, as that was happening, we saw on board that was Mike Burkhoff of Red Eye Racing able to overtake Chronotis, but Will Campbell and Chris McKeezy, McKeezy's P19 and P13, he just... sorry, I'm reading that wrong. No, it wasn't him at all. That was car number 24 of Chris McKeezy and Matthew Haight had an incident with each other. Will Campbell, 364, just binned it, I guess.
And
you can clearly see there's visible damage. What is he?
He's taking a pretty big knock there.
Let's go onto his onboard and see how his he's fighting, if he is fighting this thing at all. Yeah, and it happened right here too. He went right into that wall, and there's a driver about to overtake him. I think that's Reggie King. And Reggie King backs out.
Looks like the front end's definitely washing out on him, so he's definitely got some splitter damage. He's lacking front end grip, and also, as I think Jason Provolone's gone off at the chicane back there, but I'll say this. Luckily, we're not at a track with really long straights, but yeah, that hood flapping like that's not going to help.
No, it is not.
Top speed at all.
And even if you go to repair, that hood's going to be... Do they do a full hood repair? Oh, look at that. That's John Ward going on down the inside line. And what is happening here? Jarek Snyder was trying to get involved in this battle here. and just kind of split those two drivers. Reggie King now keeps his position, I think, partly due to Snyder trying to unlap himself, if that is indeed the case. Yeah, I believe he is trying to unlap himself. What was going on there?
Yeah, I think if I'm one of those drivers there, and I've got a guy like in this situation, you got somebody like Snyder coming up to unlap himself. Might not be a bad idea to just let him go, because then you can let him through and follow him. I mean, Snyder's a quick driver, and you can follow him, and maybe he'll help you gain a position. As looks like Ed Kerstetter.
Oh, goes on the inside line of Ali Raza. He's finally going to go for that overtake.
Wow, I wonder
There's
what happened there. Looks like they were both lapping Andrew Peckrell, so I wonder.
At the same time. Oh, no, and that is
wow.
a Roscoe out on the side. Oh, that was a little puckering moment for those drivers. Is he's going to try to get it back onto track?
Looks like he's
able to do so.
out of the way. Yeah, you don't want to come around a fast corner like that and just have headlights in your face. So everybody luckily able to avoid that.
Although, to be fair, we're about almost halfway through this race, and we have, you know, not a lot of incidences. Just a couple, to be fair. Like, just a couple
not really any incidents, car-to-car contact either. I think most of the crashes and damaged cars we've got is just from guys maybe being a little too ambitious into some of these turns and going off all by themselves, which is good. It looks like everybody's kind of taking into account it's a 90-minute race.
No, and it looks like Will Campbell. Yeah, take your time and.
Looks like he's fixed that damage, right?
Yeah, he definitely repaired. So, not only is he repaired, but he's not that far out of the, you know, of reaches of where he was. Right, he was P13. At one point, there's a car off right there of Royal Racing. And he also has the advantage that Chris McKeesey, his teammate, is the only driver ahead of him that has also gone in the pit lane. So we'll definitely see a shakeup of the midfield with what he just did with that pit.
And driver here we'll have to keep an eye on, I think, as the race goes on. Is Mike Burkhoff. Looks like
oh no, he's out, man, again.
When it rains it pours.
Yeah, Will Campbell really needs to just find his line, find his groove.
Yeah, I think he knows what he's doing. I think he just needs to talk to himself on one of these straights and calm himself down a little bit. Yeah, but Mike Burkhoff, one of our pro drivers, I think he had a rough qualifying. I want to say he started around 16th or 17th, but you know, there's been a lot of incidents in front of him. He's now worked his way up to 11th. I think he's got the pace to score a top 10 here.
Absolutely. He's about 4 seconds.
Keeps the car together.
Yeah, he's about 4.5 seconds off of a Coral, and Coral, who's actually P10.
I think he could definitely head his way into the top 10 by a few positions.
Well, he's definitely going to worry about his pit stop too. But a Coral, Alex Coral, who's a part of the Chris McKeesey and Will Campbell team of 360 Motorsports, he's actually the Division 3 leader right now in P1 at P10.
Top of his team, yeah.
And so what you're looking at, just for people that are watching, the silver is their divisions of Division 2, red is Division 3, and white background is Division 1. The one next to their name signifies that they have not served their mandatory pit stop. Green means it has. And he's gone to the pit. So did
Mike Burkhoff coming in the pits.
Yeah, just alongside Alex. I think he's just going to keep doing what Alex did right
He
there.
he doesn't want to do it through pit stops. He just wants it mano a mano. He wants to settle this on the track, I guess. Uh,
Oh, and
yeah.
it looks like
So
he overshot his. Maybe he overshot it. I kind of want to see how this pans out a little bit. We have Ed Kerstetter, Danny Basden, also in the pits. Ali Ross has gone into the pit lane as well. Who's going to be the first
interesting.
out here? Is we saw a
We're right
Coral.
at the halfway point. I
A Coral just
wonder.
dropped down, and he's the first to exit there. We have Mike Burkhoff. It's really going to come down to Gage Gonzalez now leading
Keep
this. There goes.
He has a few
There,
of
is
these
that Danny
guys. I
Basden?
think.
There goes Danny Basden. Mike Burkhoff slotting behind Danny Basden. Unfortunate for him. He's definitely going to have to worry about that. Ed Kerstetter jumping back out there. Oh, and they're the Area 52 is all pitting. David Fun comes into the pit lane.
They're all in this together as far as pit strategy goes.
And we will definitely,
This is interesting because I can't see right now. I don't know if it's updated yet, but
oh
Danny
no!
Bays.
John Roy has a stop and go penalty.
Oh man,
That's unfortunate for that driver. He was running P3.
looks like
and
it's going to be interesting here because Danny Basin and Ali Raza and Ed Kerstetter, they've come out behind Jed Engelman, I think about 5 to 6 seconds. And I think they'll be able to catch him in a few laps, but I think they're not going to have an easy time getting past old Jet. I mean, I don't think he'll, I think he's smart enough. He won't try to fight him or defend, but at the same time, he's not exactly going to pull over and just stop and let him by. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
but he's still got to go in the pit lane, and we have Gage Gonzalez sitting in P4, but he's actually just been overtaken by the drivers who just passed by him.
Did you happen to see what the gaps were like between?
I was unable to catch what was happening beforehand, but it was.
I just wonder with Rivera and Padberg. I mean, if
so Danny Basins came out, and he's sitting in P6, and all the drivers ahead of him do need to go into the pit lane. Gage Gonzalez is the driver that's going to be closest to signify this change here. As Danny Basin goes down to the chicane, Gage Gonzalez is entering that first sector, or going to be entering in the second sector shortly. So I think that's where the split is. He's got Kerstetter behind him, though. Oh no, he's got Kerstetter in front of him. Ali Raza as well. Well, actually, I think that's a better indication for you, Wassum. We have Ali Raza ahead of Ed Kerstetter at the I guess what a perfect undercut, because Ali Raza did come in before Kerstetter and Basden. So then you have Jet, who's definitely going to have to go in.
I think
Rivera's going in now. Where do we have Riley? P2, but...
See, I think this is where fuel strategy comes into play, because Padberg and Riley Manier, if they've started with a full tank of fuel, they could probably run another 10, maybe 15 minutes. And, you know, running on low fuel, they'll really be able to throw down some relatively quick laps. And, you know, if Ali Raza or Ed Kerstetter get caught up behind some of these guys who haven't pit yet, or even lap traffic, we could see some position changes after the pit stops shake out.
Well, the way I would look at it right now is that Padberg, who's sitting in P1, has got a 34-second gap to Danny Basin.
As he's coming in the pits.
So Danny Basin is in sector 3 actually, with a
as he's
32-second
catching
gap.
up to Jed Engelman here. Could be looks like Jet's gonna pull over and let him go, just trying to be smart there.
And
I
he
think,
stays out. I don't like these
yeah,
strategies
I
where
think,
these drivers decide to stay out when the majority of the drivers have already gone in the pit lane. The overcut's gone.
It can work. I mean, what always made me leery about pitting in the first half or at the halfway point was worried about getting stuck behind back markers, etc. But I think I don't think that's something they need to worry about now because most everybody's pitted. So these guys who haven't pit yet, they're just going to come out near guys that they were already racing earlier on. But
Mm-hmm. Well, and we can totally see that. So
we've still
Padberg
got, I think,
dropped to P4, right? And so then it's Jet Engelman still haven't gone in the pit lane. But Danny Basin's back to P2 with a 35-second gap to Riley Minier. Whatever Riley's running in terms of fuel, he's going to be pushing the limit there. If he even splashes for 10 to 20 liters, whatever he ended up, actually he's going to have to, you're saying 150, so even if he did put a 120 in, that was the max.
Well, at this point, I think he's probably if he pit right now, he'd probably need about 50 maybe. Of course, it depends on how much he started with, but I'm guessing 50, 60 liters if he pitted right now. If he started with a full tank and he tries to run the tank dry, he could probably get it down inside the finals 30 minutes, I want to say. But
we'll definitely be looking at that.
He's out there by himself. He can just throw in some hot laps.
It's possible.
Yeah,
I mean,
if I'm Riley here, I mean, you might as well do it. I mean, got nothing to lose, really.
I think Jet Engelman's kind of held him out a little bit because he's holding him up for sure. Because Jet's actually, I don't actually know if where's he at on the. He's been 2/10 behind this driver the entire time, and Danny Basin did a 132, and Jet did a 131.9, or sorry, 131.2. So I guess Jet's actually faster right now. But for how long?
So did Jet not let him by?
Doesn't have to let him by. He's P2.
No, I understand that, but I thought we saw just a lap ago, Jet pulled over and let him through and tucked in behind him. Did Danny make a mistake somewhere?
I don't think he let him through. I think he's.
I thought he did, unless I was looking at another Lamborghini.
I mean, I wouldn't assume Jet to let the P2 driver by or P3 driver by when he's still fighting for position. That is not P1 coming up on you right now. It is now as he sits P2 with the fastest lap now of the session.
Oh, see, this is where
and Ed Kerstetter battling against Ali Raza. They're side by side, and Gonzalez is right behind them as well, side by side.
See, Riley's loving this right now. Because these are guys he's looking to potentially overcut. I'm sure he's loving these guys battle and holding each other up right now.
And look at that. Just like before, Ed Kerstetter has...
Nice big...
Well, yeah, but Ed Kersetter's actually just pulled ahead of Ali Raza there. And while Riley likes that, he's not gaining any significant time in the leaderboard there. He's still 35 seconds, the same amount of time before. So he's only having to worry about Danny Basin. As far as the other drivers, yeah, there might be pulled up back. He got 50 from Ed Kerstetter. P4 was running in front of Riley Minier. Oh no! What was that? Oh!
And I believe that was somebody that was close to position with Riley before the pit stops.
Yeah, so, That was that
Gonzalez,
Will?
I
That
think,
was Will
wasn't it?
Campbell. No, I'm not seeing anything show up there. It was Gonzalez that went off,
Yeah.
but it looked like
Oh, as we have a car sliding backwards through the gravel. Um,
car number 3 of Santiago
Gonzalez is
Orozco.
having a run on Padberg here too. So
It looked pretty close there.
looks
Cronotis is
like
still not gone into the pit lane.
Riley's caught up another back marker. He's probably kind of low on fuel here, so wouldn't be surprised if Riley comes in the pits here, avoids losing time with this back marker.
And like I said before, he's already lost time as Danny Baisden, who was sitting right behind Royal Racing driver. He's 32 seconds away, 33 seconds behind. And Riley Minier is not going to. He's not improved any measure of time. So as it stands for the overtake, he is definitely not going to gain anything there.
He ran a 130 last lap.
And Danny Basin did a 129 even.
Yeah, so I don't think
P1 is his target. I think it's Cut Kerstetter.
I think Riley. I don't think he's looking at Danny this race. I think he was more focused on racing this group of Padberg, Gonzalez, Alvarez, and Ed Kerstetter. So
well, as it stands, it's a 28 second to 32 second pit stop if you just get lifted up. You drive in and you lift up, get down. So if you're adding fuel, you add the time to that. So if he is able to make any meaningful improvement through that amount of time, he's got 52-second gap to Ed Kerstetter. So if he's looking to overcut Kerstetter, as well as Jet still has to go in the pit lane, we could be seeing a P2 finish for Riley Minier if he times that out right.
Yeah, it's really started working out for him later in the race because up until that last lap when he had to get by a back marker, he had a huge wide open gap all to himself. He could just crank in some fast times as these other drivers he's potentially trying to overcut or battling each other and having to get through traffic themselves. So it's starting to work out for Riley here. I'm pretty eager to see when he comes in what's going to happen. Padberg.
Oh, and they made contact right there.
See, they're going to run up.
Yikes.
Here.
He definitely missed that chicane.
Get dicey.
I wonder if Gage is going to try to just... No, he kind of tucks back in. And it could have been wholeheartedly not...
shoulder there.
And who are those drivers right there? Car number 82. And... is there car number 82?
That's Jason Provolone.
Oh, yeah, he's way down there. But he's with his teammate of... I can't tell who that driver is. Turner Motorsports. Reggie King, actually. That's him. Reggie King in P15 and Provolone P23. Just to give you another update there, Was, on P4, Riley Minier's lost 3 seconds to Ed Kerstetter. So he's actually dropping his attempt down.
He's getting...
Now he's at 49 seconds away from Riley Minier. He's actually losing. If he had gone with the 53, 54, possibly it was a 55 to the leader, and that was last lap, he would probably be pulling ahead. But Ed Kerstetter is closing the gap. He just did a 129.1, and Riley did a 131.3. That is not good news, as we have Chris McKeesey looking at the back end of David Funk. I believe that's Andrew Pickrell in the background. Oh, look at that. Padberg going all the way to the inside to defend against Gage Gonzalez.
Yeah, Padberg wants to race here, and I'm sure Gage is going to oblige him on that. So, yeah, all fair, a little bump here and there, but nothing malicious from these guys. Just good hard racing. I'm sure everybody's enjoying it as much as they may be stressing right now. I'm sure they're having some fun out there.
Yeah, so we have 28 minutes left to go on these 90-minute enduro. And little is moving, but we have Jet Engelman, who has not gone into the pit lane. Neither has Chronotis. Both drivers are fighting for the P1 position and P2 in Division 2. As we can clearly see in the overall, Alex Okoro in P12 running P1 in the Division 3 split with G. Elmer in P18, but it was also P2 in that division. Andy Oga is P3 in the Division 3 championship. Also, should mention that Reed Aldridge is comfortably in P3 for the silver division. Division 3, too. It's hard to keep up with all these different divisions, Wassum.
A little bit, yeah.
Oh.
A lot of guys out there.
There goes Chris McKeesey on David Funk as they go side by side through the chicane.
We have a car stopped.
That is Santiago Orozco sitting sideways. Oh no, wait. Let's go in cockpit. Oh, okay. We just missed it, but Denny Basin was turning that corner and looking at that situation, but there he goes. Ricardo Rivera now next to Gage Gonzalez as they pass some lap traffic. Oh, and look at that. Oh, no!
Oh, wow. No.
That is just the most unfortunate incident.
Man.
But Gage Gonzalez actually recovers.
Wow.
I don't know how that is possible.
Hit. Hopefully, I'm hoping it caught mostly in the side and the door and didn't catch any of his front wheels, so he can at least drive the car straight. Wow, that was a big hit.
That is so insane. But
I think they were coming up on a back marker there.
Yeah, John Rohr was
missed a braking point, maybe
missed it completely and flew through the chicane and tapped Gage Gonzalez. That was not a commentator's curse from us, as we were just focused on something slightly outside of the view of that, and that was that Ricardo Rivera is now sitting next to his teammate. Oh man, the only grace there.
Still going.
Go onto his dad's cock. Let's see how in the cockpit view here is how he's holding together. Ah, that's a nice ride in the grass. I would be fearful of any, issues. Oh, this is teammate.
Oh man,
still sliding around the track. Well, like I was saying, Was, there's the only saving grace there is even if that, took you a little bit longer to get back on track, he was still 17 seconds ahead of Chronotis, who has still not gone in the pit lane, and that is the only position he's actually worried about, as David Funk has got a 30-second gap to... Actually, no. Make that a 47-second gap from P8 to P10, with Chronotis not really counting in this measure here, as we have Ed Kerstetter now overtaking Jet Engelman.
Jet still hasn't pit either. I mean,
he's probably decided to race
he's
with the
making
full
it
fuel
work.
set.
I mean, I think a situation like Jet's in, you kind of, I mean, if you're feeling good and you're hitting all your marks and keeping the car on the track, you kind of just want to keep going, as long as your fuel will let you.
Well, he's also got a full pack behind him, so if he does go into the pits now, he's going to exit into some clean air, which is kind of what he wants. But he could have started with a full 120, and he's actually just going to run it down and splash for what he needs. He knows he's going to need it for the 23. Oh, we spoke too soon. There he goes, right into the pit lane.
He dives in, so if we're assuming Jet started on a full tank, I'll keep an eye on Riley on the track map here, and keep an eye on his name up there. We could be seeing him come in soon as well.
Unfortunately for Riley, he's actually lost that gap to Ed Kerstetter by another 6 seconds. Ed Kerstetter is 43 seconds off of him. So Riley Manier should have gone into the pit window when he still had a 55-second gap to Ed Kerstetter, and he has not done that. Ali Raza is actually within the overtaking zone of Riley Manier. If Riley goes into the pits, he's looking to be out ahead of Padberg, and that is a big if. And look at, he's already out there. Wass, how much fuel did you think he took? That was a quick stop.
He wouldn't have had to take much, maybe 40 liters.
Are you even thinking 40? How long would 40 liters take?
I mean,
he's
not sure how good the Lamborghini is.
He's back out there, and he's sitting at P9 with no discernible driver next to him. David Funk is 10 seconds behind him. So that looks like Jet is going to secure a top 10 finish for himself. And Chronotis is still out. He's actually going to be P8.
If anything doesn't go right, Jet will be winning his class for this one. As the only guy in his class still in front of him is Chronotis, who has the pit.
Yeah, absolutely. And Okoro.
Man, these guys are still going at it.
It's anyone's guess as to why it's not yet happened. Is Ricardo just not great at overtaking? Oh, so he goes wide. But man, does Padberg have the inside line?
Even all this battling they're doing, they're still not too far behind Ali Raza. So,
yeah, about 6 seconds here.
And considering how much they're fighting each other, running side by side and running offline.
And Padberg keeping it straight. He's not making super aggressive moves to one side of the track or not. He's just making that defensive line known, and he's taking it every time. It's really
giving him very little room, but giving him enough room, which is what you like to see. I mean, they're, like I said, they're being respectful to each other. I'm sure they're both enjoying it, but I think we get down to the last few laps here. Rivera's going to have to try to put his car somewhere and make it stick.
If there's a gap, he's going to find it. Yeah, I know that it looks like Gage is still holding in there. His car, maybe just a little damage on the side there, but nothing too upsetting for his race.
Oh no!
Sticks.
No!
He hits his teammate! Oh my gosh. Man. As they are both off, Rivera put it in reverse. We have Chrono going down the straight right now.
Riley Manier's in the pits.
Oh, wow.
Finally.
Okay. We'll take a look at Riley Manier. We have Rivera and Gage Gonzalez, P6 and P7. Damage. They are they're damaged, but they are holding in there. They have 19 minutes left. We got a 53 on the mark right now.
Riley's going to lose out to Basin, obviously.
Yeah, he's going down the straight right here. Ed Kerstetter is 18 seconds away
right now.
Just
He
take a
won't have
look
to fuel much. Pretty far down the pit lane as well.
as we have Ed Kersetter going into the start straight finish right now. He's going to overtake him.
Riley's moving. This is going to be pretty close.
He's down the straight as he goes into that first corner. Riley Manier's still not... He's in the speeding zone.
He's
going into the first corner. Riley's not going to be able to get ahead of him.
Come out just in front of him. And
oh, Ed is right in front. And
oh, wow. Riley gets traffic on the exit there. Looks like he's...
And he is stuck right into P3, but he has secured himself a P3 finish.
But important here, Riley was able to see Ed as he came out, and he can see him now on the track, which he couldn't before the pit stop. So
the overcut worked out for him.
Now he's got a target to chase after.
Now we're looking at the only driver that hasn't gone into the pit lane just yet, and that is Chronotis. While he is sitting at P8, the driver gap to him is 17 seconds, so he's going to go drop down the leaderboard significantly. What's most notable, though, is if he's still going to be able to hold it off against Reed Aldred, who's sitting in the second sector, going to the third sector, and Chronotis is entering the second sector. So it's still possible he gets out ahead of Reed Aldred for P2 of the Division 2, with a Coral sitting in P1 of the Division 3. George Elmer of Simnut Racing sitting in P2 for Division 2, and Andy Oak P3 of Royal Racing for Division 3 title. A lot of the titles being handed out here, but we are just looking at actually Mike Burkhoff, who you're talking about it.
And so Reggie King has a drive-through.
Oh, no.
Oh.
That is unfortunate.
Was running pretty well there. Was looking at at least a top 4 in his class, potentially top 3, depending on where Chronotis came out. But that drive-through is gonna...
Yeah, that's gonna unsettle his position in the, because he was kind of fighting for P3, but not really. There's a good enough gap there, as we have all drivers. Oh, what is happening there?
Like goes off in front of Riley. So it looks like currently there's nobody between Riley and Ed. So just gonna see. This is all gonna come down to consistency and lap times.
Yeah, whether or not he's going to be able to catch up to him. He's got a 4-second gap, or 4.4 second gap, and I think the obvious thing here is track temps haven't changed much. I mean, we didn't see a weather variability, and for the last 15 minutes, it's going to be sunny skies, or at least moony skies here, as we're definitely going to have no change as far as rain goes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look at that. We have Mike Burkhoff, P12, battling it out for a Coral, and P20, and car number 26. Reggie King gets another stop and go penalty.
Oh, man.
Oh, I hate to see it, Wass.
Mm-hmm. When it rains, it pours.
Absolutely. Oh, let's hop on board here. Oh, I think he actually made it through. Yep, he's got him in the rear view there through that corner. And that is a Coral still trying to give the fight back to him. But there goes Mike Burkhoff taking that. And Wass, you're saying it earlier, but Mike Burkhoff really did put in a kind of a really great run so far in this endurance race.
Mm-hmm.
He started further back in the pack, and he's just worked his way up incrementally. And now he's sitting at a P11, almost top 10, like you were calling it earlier. He's got about a 28-second gap, though, to Chris McKeezy.
Yeah, I mean, I think this situation here, all these drivers, like Mike, he's just got to keep driving, keep his head down, because starting to see a few incidents here and there, people running off and colliding, so
There's definitely...
things could get a little more dicey as the clock ticks down.
Yeah, and unfortunately, in the incidents chart, it looks like Padberg, car number 88, or 888, is accrued himself a little collection with car number 53, car number 13, car number 13 again, car number 13 another time as well, and then car number 15 and 13 also had a little bit of a spin. So Gage Gonzalez has been on the receiving end of several incidences, which is unfortunate. And with the pack kind of spread out, it'd be hard pressed to find where people are at here. We have Andrew Pickrell sitting in P18 after having gone in the pit lane very, very early. Like, I think we were at 120 minutes on the clock when he actually went in, and he hasn't gone back out, back into the pit. So looks like his strategy sort of worked, but he's pretty much in the same position he started in.
Mm-hmm.
With his teammate right behind him of Riley Manier. Now, also just talking about Danny Basden of Area 52 Sim Racing, it's crazy that this driver comes, race after race and is still just, outpacing everybody with a significant gap to his own teammate, Ed Kerstetter.
Yeah, just, Danny's just ran a really solid race, really. I mean, got a good start, put it on pole, got a good start, kept it in the lead, and never looked back. Made his way through traffic well, got the pit stop done, but also you got to hand it to Ed Kerstetter and Riley Manier, I believe. Where did Ed start? P4, P5?
Mm-hmm. Oh no, Ed started P6, I thought. Oh no,
Riley
he was right behind his teammate. He was P4 or 5.
Okay, and Riley was 7th, I want to say, 7th or 8th.
6th or 7th, I believe. He was one.
Yeah,
he was one row behind him at the start.
I mean, just through pace and consistency, they've made their way up to podium position. So.
Oh, absolutely. It's been a fantastic run for them. I thought I would take a look at the race lead for a little bit, as we never really do, because this race lead doesn't have any conflicts that he's ever really having to focus on. But we do have his teammate, David Funk, who's sitting P9 with Jet Engelman just ahead of him. The Division 2 P1 driver sitting right there at P8 in the overall.
Yeah, and I think, I think Jet's going to be smart here if he's got these 3 pro drivers behind him. If they start getting runs on him, he'll just let him go. He's got a solid win in his class wrapped up. So
yeah, with the 9 minutes to go,
bring it home. He's got nothing to fight for with these guys. And
well, you being his teammate though, Wass, at one point you were his teammate. Would you consider that he would let these drivers? Yeah, would you consider Jet being the guy to let them go, or do you think he's going to still fight for the overall position of P8?
I'm sure he's not going to pull over and just let him by and compromise his own laps or his own race, obviously, which he shouldn't. But at the same time, if he gets in a situation, one of them gets a run and they're kind of side by side, I don't think he'll fight it. He'll just do the smart thing and give them space and let them go through. And wow, as we see a
what the heck?
Mercedes running wide there.
That is a driver
Probably,
out. That is Chris McKeezy completely off the track.
wow,
Oh, and he just completely abandons the race. He did have a drive-through penalty as well, but he had just sent it into that wall, and his frustration might have been the key factor after a full endurance race coming down to 8 minutes. Well, loss. Yeah, you hate to see it.
yeah. Hey, man, went over an hour and 20 minutes and called it in the last 10 minutes. That's
last 8 minutes, really. That's
yeah.
he could have made some of the points back. Drive-through penalty. So
Yeah.
Burkhoff was 30 seconds
gotta,
off of him. So if he had somehow made it to the pits for that drive-through penalty serve, he still would have been sitting in P9, or yeah, P10. Sorry.
yeah, I mean, it's it's frustrating. I think McKeezy's had a rough race with incidents, but still running a top 10, all things considered. That's good. I mean, I know it's frustrating, but sometimes you got to look at the big picture and try to score those points.
As David Funk lets Danny Basin by, just lapping him. And Jet's gonna have to do the same, which might give the advantage to David Funk to go on the attack. Now this is where the stress would be for Jet, who isn't going to want to slow down for
Yeah, I mean, I'm
Danny to get
sure
by.
it is as you're getting lapped and you've got the faster guys coming up behind you that, I mean, really quick guys that they're faster than you. It can kind of stress you out having them right on your tail, especially stress you out when it's a leader because you don't want to make a mistake and be the guy that compromises the leader. But I think Jet probably just wants to let him go, but at the same time he doesn't want to. And he's not racing David Funk either, but
he's really not racing him, but in the overall, it still counts towards
yeah,
a P8 finish for Jet Engelman there.
absolutely.
And that's still something to be said as far as the Division 2 leader goes, having outbeaten Snyder, Campbell, Burkhoff, and Funk, who are Division 1 drivers. Oh, and there goes one of the Puerto Rico race. Oh, he has some massive damage. You can clearly see there's. Is that?
Yeah,
That's Ricardo Rivera, who's still sitting in P6. So that's actually the real question is, so Ricardo Rivera has not been passed by Danny Baisden, but all the other drivers have been. So when he actually slotted behind him, Jet is actually a lap down from Rivera, so when he jumped ahead of him, he did he gain P? Wass, I'm kind of confused here. Like, did we lose another driver? Oh, we did. It was Gage Gonzalez. He's now P9. Oh, and it looks like Danny Basin was able to get ahead. And now Jet's having to fight off that attack. I mean, he does so actually pretty, like, he cut that grass. He really slowed himself down. He's now got a full second gap. Oh, no, his jet has gone off as well. Now they're side by side going into that hairpin. Actually, no, the chicane, sorry. He slots ahead of him for P7. talking recovery races, too. We have Will Campbell back at P14, all the way from the back of the grid. Car 82 of Jason Provolone's just gone off. This has definitely not had a good race for himself today. And the CC Racing drivers are fighting each other for a little position. Yeah,
it looks like. Oh yeah, we did see David Funk get by us jet. So yeah, we're getting in the closing laps here. I think these guys probably pretty tired. They've run 57 laps around a pretty physical track and physical cars, so probably.
And you know,
most of these guys are ready for this one to be over with.
Yeah, there's definitely some off tracks. The amount of incidents that we've accrued so far is 38. No one set of drivers' division is accountable. Mostly, it's all the divisions were able to make some mistakes that we saw here, and Riley Minier unable to close the gap to Ed Kerstetter with the 6-second gap now. And
yeah, but
Ollie Raza,
I still think
20 seconds down.
Riley can be happy with his performance. As we talked about earlier, him and Ed both gained a few positions, got on the podium, just purely out of pace and consistency. Well, definitely running long paid off for Riley there. He was able to overcut a few guys.
And just head on board with one of the drivers. It's Chronotis, who's sitting in P12, about 7/10 off of a Coral here of 360 Motorsports. One of the only positions on track right now that is not only for the overall, but Coral really doesn't need to fight him so much as he's going to be taking home the P1 Division 3 title. And Chronotis is already sitting in P2 for the Division 2 title. Wouldn't want to make any mistakes. As Basin goes across the line, are they going to be showing the white flag?
Yeah, this should be a...
Yep.
Should be getting the white flag here.
That is the final lap for Danny Baston. Put an end to this 90-minute enduro. Oh, what is happening, actually? Ricardo Rivera is 0.2 off of Padberg.
Wow. So it looks like Padberg may... Oh, well.
And he goes for the overtake right there.
And they've got one more lap left, so this could be a good one to watch. As, hats off to these guys. They've been close with each other the whole race.
Yeah, and...
As, we've got a driver off. Looks like they cleared him.
Santiago Orozco again, sitting at the chicane. And, it's really wholeheartedly unfortunate because the Puerto Rico E-Racing Club, they were running I think 6 and 7 before some incidents occurred. And that, I don't think... Gonzalez has actually done anything to repair his car. I think he's just been putting it through each lap by lap and losing position because of it. Just trying to hold on to that car.
Yeah, I wonder if Padberg's got some kind of issue. Maybe he's tight on fuel, or as Danny Basin finishes.
Well, he has a number of... It doesn't look like there's any physical damage, but he
looks a little slow through there. I wonder if he's trying to...
He's got some contact damage for sure.
I wonder if he's low on fuel.
And through that hairpin, they're going to be going into the final corner. Oh, wait. I'm totally looking at the wrong part of the track here. Yeah, no, that was it. That was the hairpin. Down the start straight finish, they're going to be going, and Chronotis is not going to be overtake a Coral for that P11 finish as
But
we get down. As we get done here, Danny Bayston, P1, Ed Kerstetter P2, Riley Manier P3, Ollie Raza P4, Ricardo Rivera is P5, Padberg P6, David Funk P7, Engelman P8, Gonzalez P9.
Gets the win in his class.
Yeah, Mike Burkhoff, great back of the field finish to P10, a Coral P11, P1 Division 1 driver, Chronotis P12, Aldred 13, Campbell 14, Elmer 15, Snyder 16, Pickerel 17, Provolone 18, Reggie King for 19, Andy Oak 20, Carnes 21, Delbecky 22, Roar 23, Spool 24, and Haight 20, Matthew Haight 25. We'll be pulling in the drivers if they jump in here for the interviews. And again, we host this entirely on the Tracklicious Sim Racing Twitch, but not here. It's just an issue with the stream key, and so I think we didn't get the viewership that we normally get. But, just thank you to Wassum for being here to do some commentary with me.
It was fun. I look forward to talking to some of these boys.
Yeah, any moment. Maybe they're doing some debriefings.
Green light, go, go, go.
And Chad Henkelman is gonna decline our our request there.
No fun.
Wassum, you could start with the question with Riley Manier here, who sits in P3. What a impressive overtake you did on a lot of the drivers there, Riley Manier, and I think Wassum has a question about that.
I loved the strategy. I love the running long. We were watching you. I didn't know. Were you saving at all, or did you just fuel it up all the way and were just pushing the whole time, or were you saving and trying to stretch it as far as you could?
So this was kind of interesting. I put full fuel in the car and said, screw it, I'm just going to try and see how long I can go, hoping for weather just to screw everyone else over. And when weather didn't come, I was like, well, damn, I just got to run. Well, when I kept seeing it was sunny and sunny and sunny, I was like, okay, I just need to run good times, stay like a good distance behind people so my tires don't wear a ton. And then I basically said, all right, let's just try to stay alive as long as I can, and ran as long as I could, and didn't take tires, and said screw it, and came out third, and I am pumped. And what was nice was the tires that I was able to save, I did my fastest lap of the race on the final lap. So the strategy worked out well. I'm pumped.
Nice, yeah.
Yeah, it looked like, as far as running long go, it looked like a dream scenario, because as everybody else started to pit, I was watching you on the track map. It looked like for a while there, you had a huge gap in front and behind you. You were just out there cranking in fast laps. So
yeah, congratulations, Riley. It was a really impressive finish.
Good call. Worked out well.
And
thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
We joined by me is the Division 2 and Division 3 race winners for their division. We got a Coral for Division 3 and Jet Black for Division 2. Just a quick one for a Coral. Congratulations. You finished in P11 on the overall. What a fantastic job.
Thanks. I'm sorry. I guess I started making... The only thing is that I started making a little bit of... weird mistakes at the end. I just fatigue got to me, but thank you so much for that. It was a hard drive, to be honest. but I just stayed out of trouble, and I feel like the night race threw a wrench in a lot of people's plans. So it was pretty smooth sailing.
Well, yeah. Not only that, you had Chronotis breathing down your neck towards the end there. Just like 3/10 off. That must have been an extra added sweat.
Yeah, it was pretty much just stay clean, don't try not to make any mistakes, and I was quicker than him by around a tenth a lap. So um, it was fun, to be honest. That's the main thing.
Yeah. Yeah, question for both of you guys. Coral, if you want to answer first. We were kind of discussing it, especially with Jet. When you had some of these guys running close behind you, some of these pro class drivers, what was going through your head? I mean, because you're racing them for overall, but not really in your division. Were you kind of planning on battling a little bit, or if they kind of got a run, were you just going to let them go and worry about your own division? What was going through your head there?
Yeah, I mean, I'll take that because I remember some of the instances towards the end there when some guys were coming out of the pit. I kind of pitted late and tried to take the overcut and just deal with my cruddy tires for the least amount of time. But yeah, I mean, the overall, while it's not, super important, I guess. I mean, we do still score overall, so I was giving people as much of a fight as I could, but knowing that they had pace. I mean, I let Danny around once, and then he had a mess up with the chicane, and I said I'm not going to let him around again until he earns it. So,
I hear you.
yeah, it was fun though. I mean, the guys obviously had pace, and I knew they were going to make their way around one way or another, and I didn't want to get into any unsafe situations. My main goal, for at least for how to drive on track was just to stay in clean air, and not breathe down anybody's neck too long, and also because that kind of it's harder on your tires. Your tire temps go up, and you have less downforce. So I figured if I could spend more time with a wide open view in front of me, that I was going to be better off, and I think it paid off.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I really think so.
You guys both drove a really clean race, really consistent, brought it home. So
Yeah, I mean, Coral, Jet, I mean, you really did. So, I mean, you should be, proud for your divisions because there's a lot of incidents on track, but they weren't happening with you guys.
Yeah, I mean, I think it really helped that I have two of the pro drivers are my teammates.
Yeah.
So both of them are in call with me and telling me what's going on farther up or farther back behind me. So I say that that's a huge help as well.
Yeah, well, that would be my other question, Coral, is you had two teammates, Chris McKeesey and Will Campbell, but they also made contact with each other a couple times. Was there any animosity in that chat?
Not really. People were just they were just both saying sorry to each other. They were just both
in typical Canadian fashion. I understand.
Yeah. Actually, that's funny. All three of us are Canadian.
Yep.
Yeah, they just said sorry to each other, and they each got around a second worth of damage, so they didn't mind it.
Sorry.
They said what to each other?
They said sorry to each other.
Yeah. What a fantastic run there, Coral. I mean, it was really good. Jet, you as well. Apparently, we didn't get the Division 1 leaders here in with a conversation, but thank you for joining us, gentlemen.
You're very welcome.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Good job.
Good night.
Yeah. Ed Wass, thank you for joining me again, and thank you to everyone.
You want me to try to grab these guys?
No, we don't need to do that. They usually jump up when it's necessary. We can just close it out and let everyone know that the next stream is going to be the GT4 series on Thursday at 9:15, I believe. So if everyone's looking at that, just go to the Tracklicious Sim Racing and not here. This isn't the stream key didn't work, and when we launched this stream this time. So thanks again, and thanks for Wassum joining me as a commentator.
Absolutely. Look forward to doing it again.
All right. See you.